What is up, YouTube, and welcome to Top 5 Nation, where you can learn 5 new things in under 5 minutes. For today's video, I'm going to cover the top 5 best studio monitors for beginners. These monitors are great quality, but they're pretty cheap and affordable if you are just starting out in either a home studio for home recording or even YouTube purposes, or even if you own a big studio, you can get these studio monitors' older brothers. So I'm not going to waste your time, let's get right to the video. Number 1, by Mackie, the Mackie CR3S or even the CR4s. The only difference is instead of a 3-inch polypropylene coated subwoofer, the CR4s have a 4-inch subwoofer. They both have 0.75-inch coated silm dome tweeters, which have very clear sound, and the frequency crossover is 3 kHz. These have a great look with a black matte finish and a lime green outline, and they look really nice on your shelf or in your studio. They have one powered speaker with 50 watts, and the other one is a subsidiary speaker, so that means it's connected through a wire. It still has power, obviously, but not as much. There's only one plug. There is no attention to the EQing, so you can't size these for the room or the studio that you're working in, but overall I find that they work good in mostly every single studio, and if I had to give them a rating, it would probably be a 4.5 out of 5. Coming in at number 2 is MAudio AV42. Now these have actually been around for a little while, but they have been remade. They used to be the AV40, now they're the AV42. They still have a 4-inch driver and a 1-inch tweeter with 20 watts of output. The only difference is that the grills have been ditched for a cleaner design, and I have to say, they look a lot better. They are also matte black, but on the insides near the grill, where the grill used to be, it is a smooth black, and it looks nice and clean. They have a good power rating. I would say 20 watts isn't bad, it's all you need, but it's not quite as much power as, let's say, the Mackie CR3s have 50. They have a little more detail in their higher end compared to the Mackies, but overall, I don't think they're as good. If I had to rate them, I'd probably say a 4 out of 5, because MAudio is kind of known for making good products, but not the best. I personally use an MAudio keyboard, and it does what it does, but it's not the top of the line. It's the same with the studio monitor. As long as you're working in a small studio, it'll do the job, and it'll get you through what you need to do for mixing purposes, at least as a beginner. So coming in at number 3 is the KRK Rocket 8 G3. KRK Rocket is well known, and a lot of studios have these in them. You can notice them because their subwoofers are yellow, so they have the good black and yellow looking to them, but they are very popular, and with the 8s, they are a little bit bigger than the other ones. They can be used with an XLR cable or a 1/4-inch jack and RCA phone inputs. They have good quality for what they're worth, and they have a very smooth top-end sound and a very punchy bass. They have very loud bass too, so if you're working in a small studio, you actually don't need these because they're probably made for bigger studios. I've used these in studios, but they're usually larger ones. Not the biggest, but larger. So if you have the money, I would get these. They're about $500 a pair, so they're the most expensive on this list, but they're very good. I would probably give them a 5 out of 5, or at least pretty close, because they are one of the highest quality studio monitors you can get. So coming in at number 4 is by Akai RPM800. That's the name of the studio monitor. These are typically sold separately rather than in a box pair like most of the other ones are, and they're definitely the biggest size ones on this list. They are 17 inches tall, 15 inches deep, and will take up a lot of your desk space, especially if you're in a small studio. This is similar to the KRK Rockets that I talked about last time. If you're in a small studio, you probably don't need these because they put out too much sound. You're almost better off with something like the Mackies. But if you have a slightly bigger studio, these have 120 watts of Class AB power in the form of an 80-watt amp driving the 8-inch subwoofer and 40-watt amp driving the 1.25-inch silk dome tweeter. For everyday listening levels, these are very high and they have a good frequency range, and the mids, lows, and highs are very clean. Overall, for rating, I'd have to give these a 4.5 out of 5, but if you're working in a small studio again, or a home studio, you probably do not need these, and they're good to have, but once you get to a higher level. And coming in at number 5 by Presonus, the Era C8. It's another big set of studio monitors, and they have an 8-inch Kevlar low-frequency transducer, which is driven by a 75-watt Class AB amp. So they have a good-sized subwoofer. That 8 inches is more than enough for what you need, and it has a 1.25-inch high-frequency tweeter, which has 65 watts of power amplification, and both of them put out more than enough power to do the job. They can be used through an XLR cable, balanced TRS jacks, or unbalanced RCA sockets. They are known for having high clarity in their sounds, and the mixes you can get out of them can be really good. I would probably give these another 4.5 out of 5 because they're really good, but again, they're $500 a pair, so they're on the pricier side, and for what they're worth, they're great. But if you're in a small studio, I'd probably stick to either the Mackies or the KRK Rockets. Well, there you have it, everyone. The top 5 best studio monitors for beginners or for even pros alike. They are all great. You know, the lowest one I gave was a 4 out of 5 rating. So I had good and bad things to say about all of them, but overall, they're all fantastic. You just have to decide what you need depending on if you're in a big studio or a small one. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe so you can come back when I have more content to see more top 5 videos. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a wonderful day.